It's 12 o'clock. Welcome to Starr Midday News. And coming up in this afternoon's bulletin, energy analyst Kwame Jantua demands clarity on timelines for the imminent load management, following statements by the West Africa Gas Pipeline Company, WAPCO, informing the public of an imminent load management.
Is it from today?
If we're counting from today,
is it from tomorrow?
To 5th.
But they shouldn't wait for people to imagine what the date is or guess what the date is. Come out.
Also coming up, minority clashes with First Deputy Speaker over allegations against Attorney General in the ambulance trial as Speaker apologizes.
The most serious thing for me today and my constituents is the potential of an Attorney General who goes soliciting illegality to incriminate innocent people. What we do outside here, on the media, on the social media, it should remain there. When we bring it here, we must be guided by our rules.
We'll also bring you the sad reports of 2 Ghanaian pilgrims reported dead in this year's annual Islamic pilgrimage Hajj. And later, Ghana Health Service launches investigations into death of patients allegedly abandoned in a bush by the Trauma and Specialist Hospital at Winneba in the Central Region. Details coming up shortly.
The Ghana Great Company Limited.
Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA, also live on Facebook on Star 1035 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM, Star News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
Thank you for tuning in. I am Nadima Umar. Now, energy analyst Kwame Jantua is demanding a timetable that will inform the public on the specific days they should be expecting a power outage so that the public can plan the activities in that regard. This follows a statement by the West Africa Gas Pipeline Company, WAPCO, indicating a looming load shedding to allow for maintenance activities, which is expected to last for 3 weeks. Here are details of the statement.
The Ghana Great Company Limited and the Electricity Company of Ghana wish to inform the public that due to the reduction in gas supply from Nigeria since yesterday, Wednesday, 12 June 2024, some areas across the country have experienced interruption in power supply. The West Africa Gas Pipeline Company in a statement has explained that the reduction in gas supply was due to maintenance works being undertaken by a gas supplier in Nigeria and is projected to last 3 weeks. The maintenance has caused a reduction in overall power generation capacity in Ghana, which could result in low management over the period of work. GridCo and ECG, however, wish to assure the public that we are collaborating with other stakeholders in the power value chain to optimize available resources to ensure minimal impact of the reduction in gas supply on consumers. GridCo and ECG sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused.
Well, although energy analyst Kwame Jantua has lauded WAPCO for communicating this to the public, he is of the view a release of a timetable for the load shedding is prudent.
GridCo and ECG are now talking. And they are now talking, I believe, has come from the fact that a lot of people have been pushing them, saying this thing you are doing, it is not right. This quarrel you are having in the public, it is not right. And they've probably taken heed of what has been said and brought out a joint communique. So, next 3 weeks, when does it start? There must be a start date.
It wasn't in the statement. Expressly so.
So when is next 3 weeks? Is it from today?
If we're counting from today,
is it from tomorrow?
To 5th.
But they shouldn't wait for people to imagine what the date is or guess what the date is. Come out. Look, from 11th or from 20th June, for the 3 weeks after that, we are going to have load shedding. Then you give us a timetable of the load shedding. People can plan.
Okay.
Simple.
All right.
This maintenance thing is not going to stop today or tomorrow. ECG, Gridco, they have their maintenance schedules, don't they? They should publish it for us to see, especially in this state where we find ourselves with lack of fuel. When I say fuel, I mean gas and all that. They should publish it for us to see. On such and such and such and such and such a month, we are going to have maintenance so that we can plan way in advance. It's a question of working together. I beg, we should be able to work with the people, because ECG, Gridco, VRA, IPPs, the commodity you are producing for the people of Ghana. Period. So these maintenance schedules, please try as much as possible to share it with the people. I mean, aside, what does it spoil? Tell me.
That was energy analyst Kwame Jantwa. Away from issues of energy, the Ghana Health Service says it has begun investigating the circumstances under which a patient was allegedly abandoned in a bush at Gomwa Ojobi in the Central Region. According to reports, the said patient, who later passed away, had both of her legs bandaged and was wheelchair bound. She was then dragged out of an ambulance and left on her own. Here's a news desk report.
The Ghana Health Service is initiating investigations into the death of a patient who was allegedly abandoned in a bush. The woman had been at the Trauma and Specialist Hospital in Winneba for a month after the road accident, which the facility said it had to bear all her costs. According to the facility, the deceased, whose brain was also affected by the accident, was able to tell them she is from Gomwa Ojobi in the Central Region. However, around 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday, 11th June 2024, residents of Gomwa Ojobi said they saw an ambulance around that portion of the road, only for them to find the woman, who was still alive but with POP on her legs and a wheelchair, lying in the bush.
While the Ghana Health Service says it will probe the matter, let's listen to a statement from the service.
The attention of leadership of the Ghana Health Service has been drawn to a media story about a patient allegedly abandoned in a bush at Gomwa Ojobi in the Central Region. According to the story, it is alleged that the said patient was on admission at the Trauma and Specialist Hospital in Winneba, and after her relatives had failed to show up, she was conveyed in the hospital's ambulance and left in a wheelchair at Ojobi, where she claimed to be her hometown, and was later found dead. The service, upon receiving this disturbing news, has initiated investigations into the matter to establish the authenticity or otherwise of the story, in line with the existing practices in the public service, to enable it to take appropriate actions. The service wishes to appeal to the general public to be patient, as anyone found to be connected with this unfortunate incident will be severely dealt in accordance with provisions of the service's Code of Conduct.
Still on health-related issues, the Minister for Health, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, is assuring the citizenry that the government will ensure funds are available for timely completion of the La General Hospital project. The project has stalled for years, sparking concerns among community members. Government in 2023 assured completion of the hospital by the end of 2024. However, during the State of the Nation address in February 2024, President Nana Addo Dankwa revised the completion date. During a visit to the hospital, to the project site to supervise progress of the work, Dr. Okoboy said the project, which is now 20% complete, is expected to be completed within the 28 months stipulated period. My colleague Evelyn Arabaedu has more in this report.
We are committed. We'll make sure that they get the support, the releases to be on the project within the 28-month period. They started in January. So from January to now, we've had some number of months gone already. My prayer is that I'll be part of the commissioning of this project, and all of us should monitor it keenly. If you were looking at only last population, we wouldn't have built this size of a hospital. But the idea is to make sure that this facility comes to augment services, general health services, both primary and possibly the next stage, because we said it's even above a district hospital, but not at the level of, let's say, a teaching hospital.
The reconstruction of the demolished La General Hospital finally started in January this year after the government decided to fund the project and also released a $9 million to the contractor. However, the redevelopment of the facility stalled due to the domestic debt exchange.
I was part of Parliament, the 7th Parliament, which looked at a loan facility to build this hospital. But not only this facility, a lot of loan agreements were hit by the pandemic. Most banks who said I was going to give you money later wrote to the state that, look, because of the global order, we don't have the support to come in. And so La General, just like other projects, suffered some issues. And that is why for some time, the plan that the government had went off-road. And as individuals, sometimes we put plans on paper, something happens and you have to go back to the drawing board. So after a lot of concerns and efforts, and I must say that there's been some activism, significant activism also from the community. Government said, look, instead of waiting for our creditors to say that it is now time to release the money, government decided to find money from its own resources to pay for the La General Hospital.
However, the project manager and the Minister of Health are unable to confirm whether the outpatient department of the La General Hospital will be ready for use by November this year, as promised by the government, including the president.
If you look at, there's some caving in that has come. We want to see whether some of these things will affect that. But we can, probably in a month, we can confirm whether or not by the 29th of October, you can come for an injection.
I don't want to say part of the OPD will be ready whilst others are coming up. Bottom line, if it goes by the roadmap, we know that we'll have our hospital functioning and all of us will be happy.
The 160-bed capacity facility, which is now 20% complete, will have 7-story building for medical staff already on the 4th level. It will also have other standard features, including a surgery department, mortuary, obstetrics and gynecology department.
Let's now bring you news from elsewhere, as 2 Ghanaian pilgrims are reported to have died in this year's annual Islamic pilgrimage Hajj at Mecca in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The deceased are alleged to have embarked on the pilgrimage from the Savannah region, hoping to complete the mandatory rites of the Hajj. We're able to bring you a conversation with the Director of Communication at the Ghana Hajj Board, Alhaji Abdurrahman Gomda, on exactly whether they've been able to ascertain the cause of death of these persons who have unfortunately passed away. But we'll bring you that conversation as and when we're able to reach them. There was drama in Parliament yesterday when the minority clashed with the majority over the ongoing ambulance trial. It's begun with the majority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin's decision to query ranking member for the Education Committee, Peter Nochukotoi, regarding a publication of his comments on the Free Senior High School bill. We'll bring you a wrap of what transpired on the floor of the House.
The ongoing trial of Minority Leader Dr. Cassiel Atoforson and the allegations of misconduct against the Attorney General Godfred Yeboadame found its way onto the floor of Parliament yesterday. Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin sought to find out from ranking member for the Education Committee, Peter Nochu, regarding the publication of his comments. His side will kick against the yet-to-be-introduced Free SHS bill. This move, however, did not sit well with the minority, which registered its displeasure through Chief Whip Governs Kwame Agbuja, arguing the matter in question is not before the House. In the ensuing heated exchanges, the Adaklu MP referenced the allegations of Jakpa against the AG.
Social media and to bring it to the floor, the most serious thing for me today and my constituents is the potential of an Attorney General who goes soliciting illegality, to incriminate innocent people. That should occupy your mind. Yes, because it's the fact. He said he read it on social media. Of course, it was said in an open court.
This development drew a sharp disapproval from First Deputy Speaker Joseph Osei Owusu, who cautioned the House against such comments on judicial officers.
In the social media is purporting to be a report from the courtroom. If you're going to attack the integrity of a judicial officer, if you're going to attack the integrity of a judicial officer in the conduct of his case in the court, you must have evidence that indeed that thing you're alleging is done or not done. I'm suggesting that it is inappropriate, particularly coming from a leader of the House.
However, a livid ranking member for the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, Bernard Ahiafo, rubbished the assertions of the Bekwai MP, forcefully arguing the claims against the AG are too grave to be ignored.
Anything wrong with that? But when they were talking about a factual statement, evidence in court, admitted in court, when they are speaking about recordings that we have listened to, then we have a problem with that. Mr. Speaker, I have seen the record of proceedings. Even what is more serious is that the fancies are now being referred to as thieves. Yes. When members are talking about matters of fact, if you don't know that these are matters of fact, you don't take objection to it.
Majority Leader Alexander Apenyo-Marking, however, expressed dismay at the assertions of the minority. According to him, the AG will have his say during cross-examination of the third accused, Richard Jakpa, and thus the claims must not be taken as the gospel truth.
You know that the matter being raised regarding evidence in court and all that, the man is yet to be cross-examined by the Attorney General. You know. And I saw your practice in court as my senior. And I know your understanding of the law. So please, don't let us mix politics and the law.
The Speaker of Parliament subsequently apologized for the seeming free-for-all exchanges, explaining his microphone developed a fault, and thus could not stop any member on their feet making submissions until their microphones are turned off. According to him, he would have ruled the majority leader out of order if his microphone had been active to avoid the degeneration.
Away from Parliament, pro-environmental group Arusha Ghana is on the drive to instill vital conservation practices in the next generation, emphasizing the importance of preserving the environment's green cover. Arusha Ghana has organized a comprehensive sensitization workshop for senior high school students in the West Gonja municipality to enhance stewardship to the environment. There's more in the following report.
The sensitization workshop to promote environmental awareness among senior high school students formed part of the activities of the 2024 World Environmental Day. It underscores Arusha Ghana's unwavering commitment to protecting the environment. 50 students from 3 senior high schools in Damongo participated in the workshop, which featured a series of engaging presentations by experts in various environmental fields. One of the speakers, Isaac Kofin Tori, spoke on abductive practices, emphasizing the crucial role of forest restoration in combating climate change and biodiversity preservation.
We need to take urgent actions, because if we don't do these things, by 2050, the effect will come down, affecting over 3/4 of the world's population. So that is why
Deputy Park Manager at the Morley National Park, Samuel Safo Ahin, highlighted the importance of involving young adults in environmental conservation efforts.
This enclave has been majority hit with charcoal burning, and if these students take these issues across and educate their parents on how to regulate and use this, I think they will also come in a long way to reduce the way charcoal has been produced.
The beneficiary students also participated in hands-on practical activities at Aroja Ghana's restoration forest sites established in 2020. This immersive experience allowed them to apply the lessons learned during the workshop and witness the tangible impacts of conservation efforts.
To learn how to mark the trees and how to direct people. Even from afar, you can use the GPS to mark trees. And I also learned the Latin name for the shea tree. And we heard more about recycling. And when we came here, I can see the environment is so clean. No rubber, no plastics. And now encourage the youth. Seeing the environment is very useful, and if you are to take in breath here, I can assure you that that's the best. No health conditions and everything. So I encourage the youth to try and recycle our plastics.
By fostering a sense of responsibility and action, Arocha Ghana is nurturing a generation that will champion the cause of environmental conservation for years to come.
You're still listening to Starr Midday News with me, Nadima Umar. Let's go back to the floor of Parliament. As Speaker of Parliament, Alban Badbing, has urged politicians to stop beating war drums ahead of the December 7 elections. Mr. Badbing has consequently once again asked the Jean Adukwe Mensah-led EC to ensure a free, fair and transparent election. The comment of the Speaker follows his announcement that he will lead Parliament to engage all heads of constitutional bodies and other stakeholders ahead of this year's polls. Speaking during the launch of the Democracy Cup to be played between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Accra Hearts of Oak as part of the 30th anniversary celebration of Parliament, Alban Badbing urged the country to treat football as a business.
I want to take this opportunity once again to urge the Electoral Commission, that is the center referee for the upcoming elections, to conduct the exercise in a free, fair, transparent, peaceful, and credible manner. The Electoral Commission cannot do it alone. We have to do it together. That's my initiative for Parliament, to engage them, all the commissions and our leadership, for us to move together. I am happy, I'm very encouraged, and truly satisfied that the chairperson humbly and respectfully accepted to be available at any time that Parliament needs her and her team to come for us to dialogue about the way forward. And so please, no war drums.
While President of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Okweku, on his part, asked for more investments into football, especially for better stadia and pitches, as demanded by Black Stars captain Thomas Partey after the games with Central African Republic.
A few days ago, Thomas Partey, the leader of the Black Stars, spoke about the need for more attention to be given to infrastructure. It is the truth. It's important that we need a charge for better playing surfaces for our footballers. That's the only way they can play quality football and to show what they have. Mr. Speaker, if you don't have good players, excellent playing surfaces doesn't really matter. If you have top talents like we do have in Ghana, they need excellent playing surfaces. And it is a clarion call, Mr. Speaker, I will leave with this house. We're a football nation. We pride ourselves as football nation having produced the likes of Neil Antevanapoy. I don't know what team he played for. But, Mr. Speaker, if we want to be consistent with the top players, we need the basics. The basics include what I have just spoken about.
Let's do some education now, as members of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAG, has declared an indefinite strike involving all 46 public colleges of education in Ghana. The strike takes effect from today, which is Friday, June 14, 2024, due to 7 issues which government has failed to comply by an order given by the National Labour Commission, including the payment of 1 month's salary to each entitled member of CTAG as compensation for additional duty performed in 2022. Let's now go over the phone lines and engage communications member for CTAG, Fidelis Kamai. Fidelis, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Is this the best call for you to go on strike now, especially because you had earlier cancelled your intended strike in 2023?
Yeah, thank you, and good afternoon to you and your cherished listeners. In 2023, we called off the strike because National Labour Commission ordered us to call the strike off, simply because the government or the employment has shown an indication that they were going to comply with arbitral orders. So it was on that basis that we called off our strike. But a year on, nothing has happened concerning the issues that compelled us to go on strike in August 2023.
In your engagement with the National Labour Commission, what are they telling you? Because according to your statement, you're saying that you've exhausted all possible scenarios.
Yeah, since the arbitral awards were given in May 2023, we have written 3 separate letters to remind the National Labour Commission that their orders have not been complied with. All these 3 letters, except one of them in which they directed that they have written to their legal department for them to take action. But as we speak, they have really done nothing concerning ensuring that the employer complies with the implementation of the awards.
But are you not going back on your stance, especially like I earlier said that you had cancelled your intended strike in 2023, just to strong arm the government because it's an election year?
It's not because of the election year that we are going on strike. If you look at a chronology of events, you will see that CETA has been very, very patient, which labor union...
Hello, Fidelis. Hello? Unfortunately, we seem to have lost connection with Fidelis Kamai, but he is the communications team member for CTAG, telling us their reasons for embarking on a strike, saying that the National Labour Commission has failed to hold up its end of the bargain, which is why they've asked their members to go on a strike beginning today. But let's move away from that as the Home Municipal Director for the National Youth Authority, Charles Gumenu, is calling for stringent monitoring measures on activities of traveling agencies to ensure the safety of young Ghanaian girls who travel to the Middle East for greener pastures. According to him, recent reports on the safety of these young girls are disturbing, noting that the situation demands immediate action from both parents and government. Volta Regional Correspondent Faisal Abdul-Idrisu has more in this report.
Speaking on the sidelines of a boot camp organized for some 60 selected artisans in the whole municipality, Municipal Director for the National Youth Authority, Charles Gumenu, laments how young Ghanaian girls are continuously taken out of the country to the Middle East and subjected to all forms of abuse. He believes the trend could have dire consequences on the country's workforce in the future and calls for a close watch on the activities of traveling agencies and their agents to ensure the safety of these girls.
Government must also put some measures in place. Anyone who would like to, or any agency that would like to engage our young female, send them outside for such jobs, must go to the labor office to be scrutinized. The agencies must be known by our foreign missions in those countries, and anybody sent from Ghana to those countries must duly be registered with our missions over there.
The boot camp forms part of a project dubbed the Young and Safe Project, a joint initiative by Note 8, a non-profit making organization, and its ally consortium intended to address the challenges young people face.
The boot camp is an activity under the Young and Safe Project where we are supporting people within school and out of school with knowledge in sexual reproductive health, mental health, and cyber hygiene. The goal is that we believe that in a city that is really relevant and functional, tackling the issues of mental and cyber health, reproductive health is really, really important for people to be able to live well and be able to ascertain the issues that are really critical to the survival in the city. If you look at the last the housing census, you realize that in terms of statistics and percentages, the young people constitute over 55% of the population. It means that there are more young people in Ho as a city compared to the older folks.
The project is expected to benefit 600 youth between the ages of 15 and 26 for the next 3 years. For J1
Let's bring you some updates from the sports world with Nana Ama Ajiman.
Hi Nadima. So in sports this afternoon, coach of the Black Stars, Otuado, has said that it was his decision to drop captain Andrew Dedeayu and there was no interference from the Ghana Football Association. He was speaking on the Start with Bolare. Now he goes on to talk about how important it is for Ghana to play good football. And on the goalkeeping department, he emphasized the need for the keeper to be active in his club. Now on the game at 1 p.m., Benghazi and Monica will be delving more into the interview. So please stay tuned. That is all for sports.
Thank you for those sports updates, Nanama. And that's it for Starr Midday News. You can log on to starfm.com.gh. I am Nadima Umar Uthman. Good afternoon.